Well, guys, it is now mid-February here in Alaska, and I really hesitate saying this because I can't believe it might actually be accurate, but it's really starting to feel like spring. Show you guys outside real quick. I mean, we have dirt. It is probably mid-30s right now. Essentially no snow out here. I mean, the most snow is where it drops off of my shop here, but other than that, we got maybe an inch or two. Super weird for Alaska, especially where I'm at. I mean, we don't get a ton of snow like up in the mountains or something, but even where I'm at, we typically would have, I don't know, at least 3 feet or so sitting on the ground right now. So to have this warm of temperatures and to have only a couple inches is very abnormal, to say the least. But me personally, not a big fan of winter. Don't ask me why I live here. But that just means it's time to really start pushing and getting all of the summer toys set up. Mainly being the jet skis, because those are the ones I probably love the most. And as I was starting to go through these and trying to get a list of what I think I need to just get them all finalized and ready for summer, I started remembering that the Polaris we fixed obviously last year didn't really get a lot of videos made of it, or I don't really think any for you guys. And I was looking back through, because I did take some footage of it, and realized why I didn't, and kind of had forgotten about it, that I had never posted a video of it. So I figured I'd throw all the clips together and show you kind of how this thing met its demise, because it did meet its demise, and you'll kind of see why when you see these clips. All right, boys, we just pulled the jet skis out here. Found a lake that was thawed out. Time to see what they'll do. All right, so it just got out here. The battery was completely dead, so we're able to jump it. The other jet ski died because the battery cable broke. This one was bogging terribly, and then all of a sudden it just started catching, so need it cleaned out a little because now it screams. Got the boys. The skinny dipper there. Break it in like you ride it, brother! Woo! God help us! So during that ride, everything honestly went pretty well for the most part. It was the first ride for the Wave Venture as well as the Polaris. Obviously, with the Polaris having a brand new piston in it, wasn't the best way to ride it, but nothing happened during that ride.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Fast forward a few months later, we had it out on our main lake and we were doing some kind of time trials, sort of putting it up against the 2 Wave Runners and just kind of seeing what was faster. We're out here running laps on the units. Matt's running wide left. 49 seconds. All right, we'll see what the Polaris can do. Maybe. Ripping the old units. We ran 42 seconds with this one. I think we can do better. You gonna run again, Matt? Should we try doing a hot lap or something?
Hot lap?
Well, should we try running a hot lap where we go at like full speed past a certain point or something?
I'm ready, Jesse.
Start like back over there, and then when you pass that tree, we can hit the timer. Moving slow. Huh, he was almost in the weeds on the corner. Yeah, you kind of got to, but not too much, because otherwise you lose a bunch of speed, which is what I was doing. Coming for the corner, way wide. I just busted off a 41-second pass. The Polaris hot lap. That's about as. Too bad. I've been wearing one. You got no excuses. You're bad. Just go back there and get full pin. It'll start with. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Those corner better too. Coming back around the corner.
And then me.
Huh? Not bad. You're only 2 seconds faster than the blue one.
2 seconds?
Yeah.
46. That's not bad.
No. I did manage to run a 43 on the yellow one, so 2 seconds slower than the Polaris. Not bad. Matt ran 46, so total 3 seconds faster than you. Just want to make that known. You should try the Polaris.
I'll give it a try.
I mean, you gotta see if you can even come close to me.
I think the weight
I think it's user error. Hey, not my fault.
deciding factor in this.
Not my fault. Better be full pinned, brother. Wasting. Already off to a slow start.
Here, I heard him let off.
He let off. He's really gonna let off around that corner, I bet.
Okay, you let off forward.
I never let off.
The answer is never. Do you hear me? Never ever.
Here he comes. Huh? Not bad. Do a 360 with it. Matt. He almost sucked it. I think so. You gotta get a lot more speed when you do it. You gotta get a lot more speed. Get further away from the boat. You're swamping it. That's how you find the trim, huh? Unfortunately, after testing out these skis fairly extensively, mostly we're looking to get these two tested out because they were the two that we had kind of rebuilt over the winter. Just wanted to see how they would work. Ended up probably putting 2 to 3 hours on them. They all ran super good between the two GP760s, the Wave Venture 701, and then of course the Polaris. The Polaris was by far the fastest. It really wasn't even close. So that was super exciting to see that all the work we had put into this thing was paying off. However, right as we were getting ready to leave, Matt was riding this one and noticed that it was starting to sound pretty weird and it was acting like it was either bogging absolutely horribly or else it had lost a cylinder and was only putting out power on 2. I'm hoping the carbs just need cleaned, but with the sound it was making, I'm kind of thinking it's a bit worse than that. So first thing, just because it's the easiest, is we're going to pull these plugs out, kind of see what everything looks like. Could be we just had a plug that fouled out and that's why we weren't making the power, or could be a bit worse than that. So really only one way to find out. I really could start with any of these plugs for the compression check, but being as there's only one cylinder that we had issues with to begin with, which is this back one, that's the one that we put the new piston in and the new cylinder, that is going to be the one that we're going to start with. Just because, I'm not saying that none of them could have problems, but if one does have a problem, I'm kind of thinking that's going to be it. Plug's definitely dirty a little. Go ahead and hook up the compression tester here. Let's see what she does. Had to go grab the battery charger real quick because this thing sat for a little bit. But let's see here. Should be good to crank her over and see what we get. That is not great. We're looking at right around 100 PSI on this back cylinder.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Not what we want to see. Yeah, and it actually takes quite a bit to climb up to 100. It's not even quite at 100, more like 95, I would say. Go ahead and pull that guy out of there. That's definitely going to be the cylinder that's more than likely dead. We just have to hope that didn't absolutely smoke something, and maybe it's just minor damage, but I don't even really know why I'm saying that, because more than likely something's going to be pretty catastrophically torn up.
Break it in like you ride it, brother! Woo!
You're not very bright, are you?
What do we got? Come on. Oh, the stupid intake's in the way. Okay. So, underside of the head, just before we show you guys what we got in the cylinder, I haven't even looked yet. That looks decent. That's a good sign. Nothing crazy going on there. But the real question is, what do we got in here? I don't see anything bad, which makes me really curious what the heck is going on. It is interesting. What I may have to do is disconnect this exhaust header here and then unbolt the actual cylinder head and pull it out to actually get a good idea of what we got going on, because that cylinder wall doesn't look bad. I wonder if the rings just got messed up. I was honestly expecting worse than this, but this doesn't look terrible. So if you look here,
there is some slop for sure. A bit too much if you ask me. I'm kind of curious. This was a used cylinder, and remember, if you guys watched that video when I initially put this thing together, it had great compression, so I don't think that's, I don't know, it's just interesting. I think the cylinder was fine. It wasn't a brand new one, but it was basically a new used one. Okay, I got everything pulled off the top of the motor. Didn't want to bore you guys with that part, but I'm going to pull this cylinder out. It's definitely not worn very well. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but there's some interesting wear on it. Especially like right here, that part right there, the light may be making it look worse than it is, but that is definitely, yeah, this thing is pretty chewed up. Looking inside here at the piston, the rings don't look absolutely torched. Bottom end looks good. I think we saved it in time anyway. Here we are a few days later. Just got our package in from SBT with our new parts. So in that package, we got a brand new set of reeds. I figured since we're in there, might as well go ahead and replace them all. The back cylinder did have the very corners were a little bit cracked. I don't think it was necessarily affecting it, but you never know. Also, got a brand new set of spark plugs for it. And then of course, a piston. So, looks like just a regular piston. They do a little bit different with theirs compared to the WSM that I had got before. Heard a lot of good things about their pistons. I probably should have got one of theirs initially when I rebuilt this thing, but I ended up going for the saving $20 route and got a different brand, so don't know for sure that that's why it failed. But decided to go with the SBT one, which seems to be kind of the go-to piston for these things. So we got that, rings, clips, and a new wrist pin. So get that slapped in there. Reeds, plugs. I did end up going ahead and honing out this cylinder, and it ended up turning out pretty good, I think. We'll have to see for sure once we go to check compression. But all the ones on eBay that I was looking at, people were wanting quite a bit for them since last time when I initially rebuilt this thing. And to be honest, the pictures did not look good. The cross-hatching did not look to be in place, a lot of drag marks and stuff. And so I reached out to SBT to see if they had any remanufactured cylinders, because I know they sell a full top end kit, but I wanted to see if they'd just sell me an individual cylinder. They said they would, asked me some questions, got back to them, hadn't heard anything back, so I'm gonna see if this thing works. If it has good compression, we'll just stick with that. If not, I'll wait to hear back from SBT and get one of their remanufactured cylinders. So with that, let's go ahead and start getting this thing put back together. Something super nice that I noticed SBT does is they give you this little guide here that shows what your ring end gap should be, what direction the piston arrow that is on the top here is supposed to face, and then they also show your piston to cylinder clearance, which this is going to be the standard size piston because this is not a bored out cylinder or anything. So the main thing I'm going to be paying attention to here is the ring end gap. Once we get these rings put on, we're going to slide it into the cylinder here, see what that gap is. If it needs to be trimmed down a little bit, we'll file down the ends on these. So how we're going to check for the gap here is we put the piston ring in the top here, slide the piston up into the bottom just to kind of square that up. And then right there on the end is where we're going to check the gap. If it is too little of a gap, then we will have to file those ends down. So I'll grab my feeler gauges and see what we're looking for. So according to SBT's guide here, we're looking under the 2-stroke category, and the Polaris 750, we're looking for a 13 thousandths plus or minus 5 thousandths. So it looks like at this point in the video, my poverty Amazon microphone once again died. By far the worst piece of video equipment that I have purchased to date. But all that aside, we did go ahead and do the ring gaps. Everything fell within spec, so went ahead and assembled the piston with the rings and got her all put back together. Now, fast forward back to today, that's kind of where we're sitting at with the old Polaris.
She's got brand new reeds in it, brand new rings. Once we do finally get the lake opened up and we take it out, I'll be doing a proper break-in on it, really try to get those rings seated properly. If there's any tips you guys have on how I could really set this thing up for success when I go to do the break-in, please do me a favor and leave it in the comments. Also, just looking back at this previous footage and realizing how much of it once again got ruined by the cheap garbage Amazon microphones I purchased, it's really infuriating, and I definitely need to get a new set of microphones. So if you guys got any recommendations on some good ones, make sure to drop those in the comments as well. Other than that, that's really about all I got for you. Just kind of wanted to get you guys up to speed in case anybody was curious on where we had ended with this thing. I really can't wait to get it back out on the water with these other ones and do some really fun time trials with it and just really get some cool content for you guys. When we did that testing earlier, I didn't have any of the GoPros with me, so it really kind of messed up getting a lot of footage that we could have got as we were running laps with them. So make sure you guys are subscribed and be ready for all that content. Also be on the lookout for more blaster content because I got some really cool stuff coming for that thing and you guys aren't going to want to miss it. We'll see you guys in the next one.